Craig Landry from Moonshiners was hospitalized after a unicycle accident for more than a decade. Viewers have been invited into the fascinating world of making moonshine via Discovery's Moonshiners, and what we've learned is that it's an art form. What started as a protest against taxing liquor in the late 1700s soon became a skill passed down from generation to generation. Because of the show, we've gotten to know some pretty amazing distillers. Craig Landry is one of them. Along with his brother Richard, he has produced some of the most interesting recipes in the series. These two are scientists. Unfortunately, Craig will be out of the distilling game for a bit due to a recent stint in the hospital. What happened to Craig Landry from Moonshiners? Here's what we know. According to a May 5 report from TMZ, Craig was in the hospital after he'd gotten into an accident the week prior, involving a rather unorthodox vehicle. Richard told the outlet that Craig was riding around on his electric unicycle, which he apparently does a lot, near his home in New Iberia. It's unclear what caused the wreck, as Craig only remembers waking up in the ambulance afterward. He was found unconscious by some women, who immediately called paramedics. He was then airlifted to a New Orleans hospital and had surgery on his shattered jaw. A GoFundMe set up by Craig's manager provided more details. Unfortunately, he suffered multiple broken bones to his face, jaw, hand, and broken teeth. In a video obtained by TMZ on May 5, Richard provided an update on Craig's health. Craig is home. He is out of the hospital for now, said Richard. Sadly, there are more surgeries in Craig's future, as his doctors realized they couldn't fix all of his problems in one go. There was just too much, explained Richard. Craig is still in a fair amount of pain, but his spirits are up. Now he's telling me what to do with moonshine again, joked Richard. Craig's coming back, y'all, he promised. Those prayers are really working. We appreciate it so much. The silver lining that Richard is focusing on is how his community has really rallied around them both during this difficult time. This goes to show me that Moonshiners is not just a television show. Moonshiners is an institution, Richard said with gratitude. I'm very proud to be part of that, and I'm proud to be able to bring my little brother with me. He then thanked the viewers again, and assured everyone that more updates were on the way. You'll definitely keep shining. You'll keep praying and keep believing, because I believe he's gonna be okay, said Richard. Craig Landry from Moonshiners was hospitalized after a unicycle accident in the wild, unpredictable world of moonshining, where danger often lurks behind every corner. It might be hard to imagine anything more surprising than an accident involving a unicycle. But for Craig Landry, star of the hit Discovery Channel series Moonshiners, that's exactly what happened. On an otherwise typical evening of experimenting with different ways to unwind, Landry's attempt to master the art of unicycling ended in an unexpected hospital visit, leaving fans in disbelief. A shocking turn of events. Craig Landry has long been known for his work as a moonshiner, where he's been involved in creating some of the best homemade spirits in the Appalachian region. As a veteran of the clandestine world of moonshine, Landry's career is marked by risk, secrecy, and sometimes high-stakes drama. But little did anyone expect that his next big headline would come not from a daring run from the authorities, but from a personal accident that seemed more comical than dangerous. It all began when Landry, ever the adventurous spirit, took up unicycling as a way to challenge himself during his downtime. Having spent years in the moonshine business, where manual labor and a certain physical endurance are essential, it seemed like a good idea for Landry to try his hand at a skill that would test his balance and coordination. I've always enjoyed trying new things, whether it's perfecting my moonshine recipe or learning something crazy like unicycling, Landry said in a recent interview. I thought it would be a fun challenge, you know. It's just like anything else in this line of work. You gotta learn to stay on your feet, even when things get a little wobbly. But as Landry soon found out, unicycling is not something one can just pick up without a few bumps and bruises. While practicing in the yard behind his Appalachian home, things quickly took a turn for the worse. According to eyewitnesses, Landry's attempt at a particularly tricky maneuver went awry, causing him to lose his balance and fall straight to the ground. The impact was enough to send him sprawling, leaving him unable to get back up without assistance. Honestly, we thought it was just a small slip-up at first, said a close friend of Landry's, who was with him during the incident. But then he wasn't getting up. It was pretty clear something was off. At first, Landry tried to shake off the fall, brushing himself off and attempting to walk it off. But the pain in his lower back was so severe that he was soon forced to call for help. A local ambulance rushed to the scene, and Landry was quickly transported to the nearest hospital for treatment. A long road to recovery upon arrival at the hospital, doctors immediately began evaluating Landry's condition. X-rays revealed that he had sustained a serious injury to his lower back, specifically a compression fracture of his spine. While it wasn't life-threatening, the injury would require extensive physical therapy and several weeks of rest to heal properly. At first, I thought it was just a bruise or something, but when they told me it was a fractured vertebrae, I knew I was in for a rough recovery, Landry confessed. It's definitely not the kind of thing I thought would happen when I first hopped on that unicycle. Landry was admitted to the hospital for several days of observation, and doctors gave him a strict recovery plan involving rest, pain management, and physical therapy. His wife, alongside a few of his Moonshiners co-stars, took turns visiting him, offering their support and keeping his spirits up. I've had my share of injuries from working with moonshine equipment, but nothing quite like this, Landry reflected during his hospital stay. I've always been someone who loves the thrill of the challenge, but now I realize that maybe I should stick to things I know a little better, like making whiskey and running as still despite the pain. Landry's sense of humor never faltered. He even took to social media to reassure his fans that he would be okay, posting a picture of himself in a hospital bed with the caption, "Who knew a unicycle would be my downfall? Guess I'll stick to what I know best from here on out." His fans, many of whom have watched him for years on Moonshiners, were quick to offer their support, with countless messages of encouragement flooding his social media accounts. Landry's loyal following, which includes both dedicated moonshine enthusiasts and casual viewers of the show, expressed their disbelief at the bizarre nature of the incident. "I was watching Moonshiners when I heard about the accident," one fan commented. "I thought it was a joke at first. Craig Landry on a unicycle? That's gotta be the most unexpected thing I've ever heard," another fan expressed concern, but praised Landry's resilience. "Stay strong, Craig. We know you'll be back at it in no time. Just take care of that back." Despite the initial shock, Landry's recovery was more optimistic than expected. With the right care and a strong support system from his family and friends, he was soon on the road to recovery. However, his unicycling days might be over, at least for now. The unexpected lesson. While the accident itself was certainly a surprising turn of events, it also served as an unexpected lesson for Landry, and even his fans. As someone who has spent years navigating dangerous situations, whether it's dealing with volatile distillation processes or evading the law, Landry was reminded of the importance of taking care of himself, both physically and mentally. "I've always taken risks in my life, but I've learned that some risks just aren't worth it," Landry said, reflecting on his injury. "I've put my body through a lot over the years, but I've never thought about how important it is to give it." That the accident also served as a reminder to his fans that no one is invincible, not even the tough, resilient moonshiners of the Appalachian Mountains. Landry's experience became a moment of introspection for many of his followers, who began to question their own lifestyle choices and the importance of taking things slow when trying new activities. "I guess we all think we're invincible sometimes," one fan said. "Seeing Craig go through this makes me think twice about pushing myself too hard." Returning to Moonshiners after several weeks of rest and rehabilitation, Landry finally returned to his Moonshiners duties, much to the delight of his fans. His recovery was a little slower than expected, but Landry was eager to get back to the world of moonshine, this time with a renewed sense of caution. "I'm definitely a lot more mindful of my body now," Landry admitted. "I'm not saying I won't try new things, but I think I'll leave the unicycle tricks to someone else for a while." Fans of the show were relieved to see him back on screen, and the episode following his return even included a bit of humor surrounding his accident. In one memorable scene, Landry's co-stars made light-hearted jokes about his unicycling mishap, with one even gifting him a small toy unicycle as a gag gift. "Hey, Cray, maybe stick to just making moonshine from now on," one of his friends said while presenting the toy unicycle. "We don't need you getting hurt again, Landry. Ever good sport."